Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Moore for Gruesome Magazine and the Decades of Horror. Tonight, I'm with Doc Rotten, who is going to be reviewing the movie Downrange. How are you tonight, Doc?
Oh, I am doing good. I am excited. You know, I was originally excited to talk about this film because it is from director Ryuhei Kitamura, who did a number of films that I really like. He did a film called Midnight Meat Train, which a lot of people love, Versus, which is one of my favorite films from 2000. And he also did Godzilla Final Wars, which has a lot of fun bits in it. And he's returning to do a stateside film with an American cast, or at least mostly American cast. And I was really thrilled to see what he would do. But
I heard a but in there.
So the film is directed well, and it looks great, and the effects are great, but it has a huge problem, and it has nothing to do with the film, and it's unfortunate. So first, let me set up the film with a synopsis. It's very simple, the plot. There is a group of 6 kids, young adults, I should say. They're not kids, young adults. And they are traveling, and they're on a back road where they don't know where they are, and they have a flat. And they're stranded. And suddenly they realize that they're not really stranded, but they're the victim of a sniper hidden in the distance, and who is picking them off one by one. And they spend the entire film trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. And that's pretty much the beginning, end, and middle of it all.
Well, it sounds interesting.
The concept is, and in a different environment, it probably would have been a very interesting film. But given the current status of, current events, with Las Vegas and Texas, it is incredibly difficult to watch this film. And it sucks the entertainment value out of it. It's difficult to have this kind of film be called entertainment. And it doesn't help that they don't, and it may be on purpose, the commentary that, the assailant, the killer, the sniper, there's no backstory at all. Matter of fact, you never even, there's nothing about that person at all. It's just, it focuses on the people and their struggle on, how to get out. And it's interesting, as they, figure out the situation they're in, figure out some ideas on how to get out of his line of sight, how to get water, how to survive, because they're there for hours in the film, trapped by him. And it also has a couple other cars that show up and what happens with them. And it's the effects are pretty harrowing. They're gory, and there's a lot of blood and bloodshed. But at the same time, it is so uncomfortable watching this film. It ended up being a chore, and it is incredibly unfortunate because of the current time. It's impossible to separate it, which, this happens from time to time. Films like Geostorm probably suffered a similar fate, but maybe not as dramatically as Downrange.
Yeah, so it's a victim of timing right now.
Definitely. It would be curious to kind of revisit this film maybe in 5 years. But as now, it is incredibly difficult to recommend this film in any way.
Well, would you like to close up with your favorite scene and your score?
I'm going to give this a 2 on all its technical efforts. It's, it is well directed. There are some very stylish shots. And there's some really, at times there's interesting things that happen, sometimes preposterous. And as the film gets more and more into other characters joining in the situation, it starts losing whatever it had going for it. And that's unfortunate as well. By the time the police show up, it's just out and out ridiculous. And that takes the air out of the tires faster than the bullet did. It's really unfortunate. But the lead actress in the film deserves to be mentioned. One of the lead actresses, Stephanie Pearson, who is basically the smartest one in the group, really shines in this film as she deduces what to do and how to stay alive, and when and is important in taking some actions on their survival. It's she's definitely the star of the film. My favorite scene is difficult to say because I'm not really certain that there's something that you can call favorite in this, because it's about as far away from like a supernatural kind of thing as you possibly can be, and I tend to like the more supernatural films, so this one gets away from that. But there's a part where they have to they have the idea that because they're stranded behind this car, this big SUV, and it's the only thing really keeping them alive, and they want to move it because the location that was chosen is chosen because of that there's no reception in this particular area. But if you can get 6 feet one way or 6 feet the other way, you can start to get, a bar or two. And they're trying to move the car, but if they open up the door of the car, they'll get shot because of his position. And they're just trying to figure out how to get in there and either distract them or build some kind of barrier. And it takes a couple times, and it's really interesting and tense. And that's when the film works the most, when it's concentrating on this group of characters and how they're achieving what their goals are. And so that would be my favorite scene. Okay.
So bad timing, but some good acting, good directing, possibly decent story concept. Anything else you'd like to say?
Nope, that'll do it.
All right, let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Be sure to visit GruesomeMagazine.com to listen to the other Gruesome podcasts, Hard News Radio, and Decades of Horror. Also check out the Gruesome Magazine Quarterly, available in digital and print on-demand format.